Hey, throughout history, Waves has offered their plugins at $29.99, $19.99, and even $9.99. So of course the next step is free, right? Yes! They have officially released a free plugin bundle. Besides that, these plugins are never going to be part of Waves' upgrade plan. These are free forever, it doesn't matter if they get updated or anything, it's, well, a free bundle. Now of course not everything that shines is gold, so we need to check what's actually inside the bundle. If you want to support my channel, please give a like to the video. It's the only way to show the algorithm that I'm making a good job. Now many of these plugins are emulating analog character, for instance little tubes. As the name suggests, this is tube style saturation. I think that this is the only newish plugin from the bundle. It's part of the Magma series and I gotta be honest, it sounds pretty nice. Now there's one thing to know about this one, I think it's like a stripped down version of BB tubes. But still it's a pretty sweet sounding saturation. I know that we have a lot of different flavors already on the free plugin environment, but still with saturation is completely subjective, so give it a try. Now, that one was emulating an analog character, but in the bundle there are actually two analog emulations. I'm talking about the VEQ and the VComp. VEQ is emulating the character of the NEVE 1066 and the NEVE 1073. And it's a pretty simple EQ. But to be honest, I love using analog emulations, especially because they are simple and they have character. So if you're looking for a NEVE emulation, test this one, and also test the VComp. This one is emulating the NEVE 2254. It has a great character, is pretty unique and versatile, but of course, as I said, with analog emulations, it's pretty subjective. Now, speaking of compressors and EQs, the other plugin is the Audio Track, which is a channel strip that's completely clean. It's pretty unique to find a clean channel strip, but to be honest, it's not something that I need. It's just that I don't have any issues with having all of these stages separately. The next plugin is IR Live, an impulse response loader, or convolution reverb if you want to call it like that. But of course, this is not the only convolution device that exists. So of course, what's important is the variety of impulse responses that come with the plugin. And as you can see, we have every basic reverb that you may need. Maybe it's not like an extensive list, but they sound pretty sweet. Besides that, of course, you can load up your own impulse responses, even if they are experimental or whatever. Now, finally, before the synth, we have the guitar solo. This is a collection of pedals and amps that you can use for anything, not just guitars. It's always fun to play with these effects because they always offer unique types of distortion. Besides, in a way, you can consider this as a multi-effect. Now, the last plugin on this free bundle, as I mentioned, is a synthesizer, and it's a surprisingly deep one, because you have to keep in mind that originally this was paid for. But it's not like any synthesizer, it's pretty unique on its architecture too. This is Flow Motion, an FM synth. Now, to be honest, Flow Motion have caught my attention for a while now. It has 4 oscillators that you can cross-modulate, and you can choose from phase modulation to actual frequency modulation. Besides, the way you use the envelopes and the LFOs is also pretty intuitive. And you have deeper parameters to control like the filter and add effects. Now, if you compare it with other synthesizers with FM capabilities, it may fall a little bit behind, especially considering that these other synths have wavetables. I mean, Vital, Serum, Faceplant. In all of them, you can create FM and other types of audio rate modulation with all of their oscillators. And we know that when you combine wavetables with FM, you get crazy stuff like this. But still, that doesn't mean that Flow Motion cannot create complex kind of sounds. And because it's intuitive, it's very easy to use too. Now, the effects are simple, but the thing that makes this synthesizer pretty unique is the patch sequencer. On this sequencer, you can program different patches or different presets for each one of the steps. With that, you can get crazy sequences like this one. So it shows that it was originally a paid synth. And because it's still very deep, I think it deserves to be at the big boys table. You know, with Surge, Vital, Odin and the others. So I think this is one of the highlights of this free bundle by Waves. In fact, I made 15 presets for my channel members and my patrons. For a small fee you can get them and you will be supporting my content. But of course I want to know your opinions, not only about Flow Motion, but about the whole bundle. Thank you so much for watching, I will see you next time and bye bye!